Still further southeast in southern Nigeria are the Emo Yo Quaim, or strange people, as they are called by their Muslim and fetishist neighbors. For their tradition is that their ancestors came from Morocco, a fact which is supported by their language, a mixture of Maghrebi, Arabic, and local Negro speech. I'm going to have a look a bit more into, what do they call them? The Emo Yo Quaim people that were known to be in Nigeria. In 1492, expulsion was not only for Sephardic converts. The majority of the expelled people were black Hebrew Israelites who, along with Moroccan Moors, had earlier ruled parts of Spain, with Sephardic Jews included mainly as converts. So basically it's talking about, when the expulsion happened in Spain in 1492, based on history, that we were told, is that obviously the Jews were expelled, from what's it called, Iberian Peninsula. So we know that obviously a lot of Jews were expelled from that. But what this piece that I've written down from the research that I've done is obviously saying that it wasn't just the Sephardic Jews, the Sephardic converted Jews. I'm going to do another video speaking about, the Sephardic converted Jews, who they are and things like that. But yeah, so it wasn't just about them. It also included black Hebrew Israelites, who, along with the Moroccan Moors, a lot of people know about the Moors and things like that, and know about the other Jews being expelled as well, but they didn't know that, most of them, majority of them were black Hebrew Israelites. So, according to this perspective, these Israelites were called B'nai Ephraim, like my Congolese people would say, meaning children or sons of Ephraim. After the 1492 expulsion from the Iberian Peninsula, it is said that these people migrated into Morocco and eventually continued further into West Africa. You see the sort of words I have to say, like, please make sure you press the like button and leave a comment and subscribe as well, because this is overtime. But this is the only way I can get better anyway. So these groups migrated to present day Yorubaland in Nigeria, speaking a mix of Moroccan Arabic, Yoruba and Aramaic. It claims the Yoruba called them Emo Yo Quaim, which means strange people, as it viewed them as distinct, linking them to the Y DNA, blah blah blah, rather than other West African groups. So basically, they were called that. They used to call them that because by the Muslims used to call them that, and the native West Africans, natives, people that were in Africa, in Nigeria at the time, they can clearly see that there's a difference between them and them. Do you get it? So it's like, that's why I was speaking about how we are made to look at race, as in, for example, okay, I might be from Nigeria and you might be from Nigeria, and we both got the same skin tone, skin complexion, we're black, so to say. But we need to realize that there were times way back, as in this part that I'm reading now, where just because you're black and you're from the same country, people can still tell the difference. And it wasn't just about the tribe, it was more about the blood type, the bloodline. Do you get what I'm saying? Your heritage, and that's basically that's why they ended up giving these lot that name. They used to call them strange people because they could see, even though they were black, the same as them, but there's something about them that made them be being named strange people. Do you get it? So that's what they're basically saying. That's what it's basically saying in this part of the thing that I've written down. Is they just wasn't the same as the other groups in West Africa. So I hope that makes sense. According to this perspective, the Beni Ephraim continue to preserve the Torah and related traditions in their communities. It also notes that more than 3.5 million enslaved Africans were taken from the region of present-day Nigeria during the transatlantic slave trade, and associates the Yoruba Jews within the Y DNA, blah blah blah, identified here with the tribe of Ephraim. So it's kind of telling us one of the reasons why they were, called the strange people, and why they were a bit different in that part of Nigeria. It says that they continued to preserve the Torah and related traditions in their communities. So they kind of stayed away from mingling with, obviously I'm not saying all of them did, but most of them, it looked like they tried to, have, stay in their little community and preserve the Torah and their related traditions. So maybe that's probably one of the reasons why they were deemed as strange people, because you just wasn't like the rest of us or the rest of the other groups. Because I just spoke about the transatlantic slave trade, we're going to quickly have a look at where some of these people went during the slave trade, specifically the Yorubas. The scale of the migration heavily concentrated in the period from 1780 to 1850 makes the movement of the Yoruba into the diaspora one of the largest migration across the Atlantic up to that time, rivaling all other African and indeed European ethnic groups in the scale of resettlement. In the 18th century, many Yoruba were taken to the French Caribbean as well as to Bahia, don't know how to pronounce that word, whereas in the 19th century they went mainly to Bahia and then to Cuba, and in accordance with British anti-slave trade measures to Sierra Leone and Trinidad. And if you haven't seen my video, I did a bit about the London Carnival and the person, was it Claudia, who was the pioneer of the London Carnival, Notting Hill Carnival. And one of the places that she came from was the Trinidad. And I also spoke about her parents and her ancestors and things like that, and where they came from and things like that. So it'll be good for you lot to check out that video as well if you haven't checked it out yet, because I speak a bit about the people that migrated to Trinidad. So this just proves the video that I made. It is kind of informative and helpful, so it'll be good for you lot to check that out as well. But their social life, this is speaking about the Yoruba Jews, the Beni Ephraims. But their social life and institutions are those of the Yorubas about them. So it's basically saying, yeah, they might have the Torah and things like that, but their social life, the way they're living, is just as the same as the natives, Same as with us as well. It's like, that's what I was saying, like, some people will be like, yeah, Christianity, they're being religious, but they're not really following what's in the scriptures properly. Do you get what I'm saying? Diligently. So I feel like this is relevant. So I'm going to read it again. But their social life and institutions are those of the Yorubas about them. The crocodile is the sacred animal for all. The powerful terrorizing African secret societies govern all. Whatever sacrifices are customary with fetish. Right, I need to really take a reading course or something. I literally had to just look up how to pronounce the word. I think I need to get an app that's just going to help me with my pronunciations because I've really been out here. I've been out in the streets for too long, man. But yeah, so getting back to it, let's get back to it. But their social life and institutions are those of the Yoruba about them. The crocodile is a sacred animal of all, for all. The powerful terrorizing African secret societies govern all. Whatever sacrifices are customary with fetishists are there also. Some of the words that are probably being mentioned here, we don't really use them anymore. But yeah, let me read on. At present, by number about 2,000 people in 20 little villages, and call themselves the Hebrew name Benai Ephraim. They have copies of portions of the Torah kept in a most highly place, but their social life is not Torah controlled. It is that of their fetishist neighbors. So it just shows the fact that, from what I was saying earlier, that they might have all of these things like the Torah and that to help them, but they're still living like, what did they say? They're still living like their neighbors. They're still living like the natives. They're still living like the other people. And you remember what I read earlier, Deuteronomy 4:6-9. It said that we must observe it carefully, so it will show your wisdom and understanding for other nations who will hear about all these decrees and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So right now they're just living foolishly from what I've read because they're just acting and living like the rest of them.